CHAP. XXVI. What an unconscionable jointure, my dear, do we pay out of this small estate of ours, quoth my grandmother to my grandfather. My father, replied my grandfather, had no more nose, my dear, saving the mark, than there is upon the back of my hand. Now you must know that my great-grandmother outlived my grandfather 12 years, so that my father had the jointure to pay £150 half-yearly, on Michaelmas and Lady Day, during all that time. No man discharged pecuniary obligations with a better grace than my father. And as far as £100 went, he would fling it upon the table, guinea by guinea, with that spirited jerk of an honest welcome, which generous souls, and generous souls only, are able to fling down money. But as soon as ever he entered upon the odd 50, he generally gave a loud hem, rubbed the side of his nose leisurely with the flat part of his forefinger, inserted his hand cautiously betwixt his head and the caul of his wig, looked at both sides of every guinea as he parted with it, and seldom could get to the end of the £50 without pulling out his handkerchief and wiping his temples. Defend me, gracious heaven, from those persecuting spirits who make no allowances for these workings within us. Never, oh never may I lay down in their tents, who cannot relax the engine and feel pity for the force of education, and the prevalence of opinions long derived from ancestors. For 3 generations, at least this tenet in favor of long noses had gradually been taking root in our family. Tradition was all along on its side, and interest was every half-year stepping in to strengthen it, so that the whimsicality of my father's brain was far from having the whole honor of this, as it had of almost all his other strange notions. For in a great measure, he might be said to have sucked this in with his mother's milk. He did his part, however. If education planted the mistake, in case it was one, my father watered it and ripened it to perfection. He would often declare, in speaking his thoughts upon the subject, that he did not conceive how the greatest family in England could stand it out against an uninterrupted succession of 6 or 7 short noses. And for the contrary reason, he would generally add that it must be one of the greatest problems in civil life, where the same number of long and jolly noses, following one another in a direct line, did not raise and hoist it up into the best vacancies in the kingdom. He would often boast that the Shandy family ranked very high in King Harry the Fifth's time, but owed its rise to no state engine, he would say, but to that only. But that, like other families, he would add, it had felt the turn of the wheel, and had never recovered the blow of my great-grandfather's nose. It was an ace of clubs indeed, he would cry, shaking his head, and as vile a one for an unfortunate family as ever turned up trumps. Fair and softly, gentle reader, where is thy fancy carrying thee? If there is truth in man, by my great-grandfather's nose, I mean the external organ of smelling, or that part of man which stands prominent in his face, and which painters say, in good jolly noses and well-proportioned faces, should comprehend a full third, that is, measured downwards from the setting on of the hair. What a life of it has an author at this pass.